Right now we're going to bring someone out to talk about faith, and she's actually from New Thought Community Church. She said, because the old thought isn't working. Please give it up for Lilly Murray.
I was really thinking that we were going to party today, that we were going to celebrate, and I know that we are going to celebrate. Just going to take a little bit longer. And in the meantime, I want to talk to you just a little bit about civil rights and where I've seen that and where I know about that. I want to talk a little bit about Reverend Martin Luther King. You know, I kind of got in trouble this last year with some people from my congregation about speaking politics from the pulpit. And it is our duty as spiritual leaders. I am an ordained minister. It is our duty as spiritual leaders to know that love is all that there is. And that hate is fear. There's only two emotions, love and fear. And I wrote on the little blog about a certain minister here in Fresno that thought that his church had been vandalized by a certain hot dog. Anyway, and all I wrote was, we pray for this minister so that he can find his love and stop acting from fear. Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, when he was speaking about civil rights, spoke a lot about Moses in the book of Exodus. And there's like 4 steps going to where it is that we are all going. And the first step, and it's reminded me some of AA, of 12-step 2. I'm a recovering drug addict. I have 20 years of sobriety. And 21 years of marriage. Moses said, Exodus 1:12 says, there's a problem here. These people are enslaved here. Their rights have been stripped. And the people said, oh yeah, there seems to be a problem. And that's the first step, to realize that yes, there is a problem, and it is civil rights. Right. It's not about moral issues. There's nothing morally wrong with love. Step 2 is the journey on the path to the promised land. Fear not, my favorite words in the Bible, fear not, the waters will be parted. When the Jews were in the cusp between the dry land and the Romans were coming in the Red Sea, Moses said, fear not, and the water parted. And the people walked through. And they got to the other side, number 3, to keep on keeping on, even through the darkest night, through the interplay of despair and doubt and hope, and that's kind of what happened today. And even in the despair of the Supreme Court making a challenging decision, there is divinity. There is divinity in this. To number 4, a new day. The promise of a land, of a world that works for everyone. That's Exodus 40. After the rules were set in stone, it reminded everyone of their connectedness to the one, which is love, and only love. To today's activists who are working to support equality, peace, healing the earth, feeding the people, and ensuring equal rights for everyone, within their faith communities and within their spiritual practice to support the children, provide medicine, education, and to bring about the changes that spiritual folks have known are the birthright to us all. Know that this is a calling, a mission for those who serve. It is about love correcting everything that stands in the way of love. And I'm going to leave you with a few excerpts from Dr. King's immortal speech. I celebrate with you the ability to think for yourself and to act on your calling. 50 years ago, a great American in whose symbolic shadow we stand signed the Emancipation Proclamation. Too many papers here. Oh, I'll get that. This momentous decree came as a beacon of light of hope to millions of people who have been seared in the flames of withering injustice. In a sense, we have come to California to cash a check. When the architects of our nations and our republic wrote the magnificent words of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, they were signing a promissory note to which every American is heir. This note was the promise that all people would be guaranteed the inalienable right of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now is the time to open the doors of opportunity to all of God's children. Now is the time to lift our nation from the quicksands of injustice to the solid rock of justice. But there is something that I must say to the people who stand on the warm threshold which leads into the palace of justice. In the process, this is very important, in the process of gaining our rightful place, we must not be guilty of wrongful deeds. Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred. We must forever conduct our struggle on the high plane of dignity and discipline. We must not allow our creative protests to degenerate into violence. And as we walk, we must make the pledge that we shall march ahead. I say to you today, my friends, that in spite of the difficulties and frustrations of the moment, I still have a dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed, and we hold these truths to be self-evident that all people are created equal. I have a dream today. I have a dream that every valley shall be exalted, every mountain shall be laid low, the rough places will be made plain, and the glory of God shall be revealed, and all people will see it together. This is our hope. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of a mountain of fear a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to marry who we love, and to stand up for freedom together. Let freedom ring from the Rockies of Colorado and from the curvaceous peaks of California. When we let freedom ring, when we let it ring from every town, every state, and every city, we will be able to speed up the day when all of God's children, black and white, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholic, gay and straight, will be able to join hands and sing the words of the old spiritual, free at last, free at last.